Hey, I'm so excited to be here with you today. I've got my friend Tammy Johnson, and we have been friends for over 20 years, part of Church Alive. We were the two piano players early on in the days, so excited to talk to her about her family and her children who have been part of Leaders in Training for many years now. So just tune in and enjoy. So, Tammy, thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for having me. I love talking about this.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you here today.
Me too.
So if you could just tell the story of how we met and how we got started as musicians at Church Alive.
Yeah, definitely in the early days of Church Life for sure. I was there playing piano, and then you came in. We needed another piano player, and you came in and jumped right in, and then we were kind of like co-sub leaders under like our worship leader, and so we worked directly together for a long time and played together and, did all the fun stuff. And then you moved on to a slightly different role and weren't able to play as much. But our friendship definitely goes way back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were a pastor's kid, right?
Yes, definitely.
So PK.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, it was, my dad actually got ordained the year I was born.
Wow.
Yeah. And he preached all the way through, and he preached the Sunday before he passed on a Friday.
Wow.
So yeah, he was
what a faithful man.
Yeah.
So just reflecting on your preteen years, like what was your discipleship like?
Well, it's so funny. Obviously, looking back, I mean, it was fine. It was not, we had a youth group, and, it was kind of the normal thing. I probably did have a little bit more skin in the game just as the pastor's kid. At one point we transitioned to a smaller church. And so at the time we went, they didn't have a worship leader. So my dad was like, Tammy will do it. And
oh, wow.
I think at that point I was maybe 15 or 16, and I was like, Dad, but kind of some trial and error and kind of worked through it. But then, which was a blessing, and, it was fun. But, youth group, there was always different things that were, going on, but nothing, just like your normal, like, go to youth group, play games and, have things and go to church camp, those kind of things, which were great. I mean, it was a great opportunity and lots of things were learned. But, when I compare it to what my kids have experienced and the things they've been able to, I guess, sort of dive into sooner, it's amazing to me.
Yeah. It's been a joy to be part of their lives for many, many years.
Yes.
I remember specifically praying for your husband when you were single.
Yeah, me too.
And praying for you.
They would hurry up and show up.
Yes. And then for your children to be born and all that was just an exciting time to be with you and around your family.
Yes. God has didn't know if it was ever going to happen. And then God blessed, and we had our oldest, Elena, and then we decided we didn't want her to be an only child, and so she's not. we ended up having twins the second time around, so we ended up having extra blessings. So wouldn't have it any other way now, but yeah, it's been very fulfilling. The twist that I wasn't sure life was going to take for me. So, but I'm so grateful.
So I want to fast forward to reflect on when Delana was a child in kids ministry. Of course, I was her kids pastor, so I was interacting with her every week. Just can you describe for me her desire and interest in Leaders in Training? Special Forces was our name for it, but getting involved in that ministry.
Oh, yeah. So Delana doesn't miss much. She, saw the student leaders always growing up. And so she would talk about it and when can I do that? And, just always had a heart to be a part of things and wanting to dive in as deep as we would let her. At the time we had a season where there was able to have leadership and training a little bit younger.
Yes.
And so she was able to be a part of that, which was great. And so she enjoyed that. And then it transitioned, at that, I think the year she should have officially gone into the official Leaders in Training. And then you all graciously allowed her to kind of bridge that gap and kind of go on, because she was chomping at the bit and just so excited to just learn and serve and do all of the things. she just loved being and experiencing all of it. Like it was just, she was just a sponge that was never saturated. Like she would come home and talk about things, and like she just always wanted more. Like always loved the opportunities, loved the chances to, talk to people. She loved her teachers. Like she was all in, like for sure.
So yeah, she was definitely one of my prodigies as far as that goes. And I remember considering when she was too young technically to be in,
Yeah.
but we all of us and the leadership team were like, I think she can handle it.
Well,
Let's give her a chance.
Yes, I think she would have been absolutely beyond crushed to have a year gap there.
Yeah.
That would have, yeah. So thank you. Sometimes the rules can be bent a little bit.
Yes. All right. So you mentioned, growing up in church and of course all the things that were normally offered. What did you see as a distinction or difference in leaders in training versus how you were brought up in discipleship?
I think initially just the biggest thing that I noticed was just the intentionality in terms of discipleship. Like it wasn't just like surface knowledge. It was absolutely like, let's go deep with them. Let's really dive in, give them responsibilities. Like there's, the daily homework they had to do, like teaching them how to have a quiet time, like how to do those sorts of things. But then it would then translate directly to, we're like serving on, on Sundays or doing different things, or even within the group, like there were different components that just had it was the practicality of like walking it out, like as soon as you're learning it. So like, there's no like, oh, when you're older, you'll get to do these things. It was like, let's learn it, let's do it. And it seems like such a simple concept, but I had not seen people see children at that age. Like, I guess there's just this mentality of they're too young or they just want to play. They don't really care. And knowing my kids and, kid at the time, and then later all three of them, like they wanted more. Like they weren't just satisfied to just have a fun, because they learned the fun in serving.
Yes.
And that was a more fulfilling for them than just like a surface fun of like, well, that was a nice game.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. It's been such a eureka for me,
Yeah.
even discovering that this was so, because I really did think, oh, they're going to be bored or they won't enjoy it, but they love to serve.
They do.
Yeah. Okay. So you got Delana, and then of course the twins came up after.
Yes.
What was it like for them after Delana was a big part of the ministry to get interested in serving?
Well, it's funny. So in the middle of all of this, Church Alive started another campus. And so we went to go help serve with that campus. And I have this amazing picture of Caleb and Cassidy. They're definitely younger than 2. They're probably about 20 months old. And they are literally picking up a table, like a little toddler table.
I hope we need to get that picture and put it in this
it's amazing.
podcast. That's fun.
They are like carrying it because it was set up and tear down. So it's like they have no knowledge of not serving.
Right.
Which is kind of like an amazing thing, an amazing gift. And it's just kind of, it's an expectation, but it's also a privilege. And so they, got to see it firsthand from like, not just, their parents, but also their older sister. And they couldn't get there fast enough. They were ready to be doing more things and were honestly looking for opportunities even before they had official opportunities to do it. So, which told me they really did want to do it. It wasn't just me too, I want to do what Delana's doing. So as soon as they could be a part of it, they, wanted to do so. And I mean, it was just amazing to see the joy they got from it and the different things they got to experience. They had a slightly different path from Delana, which is good. They're different. Yeah. They're different people. Caleb jumped in and started doing puppetry and like things that I was like never would have thought. Like, and he had such a, had so much fun with it and different things. And Cassidy, used some variety of her giftings of, some of the administrative side, but then also worship side. And it was just so fun to see them be able to experience something and it be as satisfying as they thought it was going to be.
Right.
So it was not something that they were like let down, like it met the expectation level, which is not always the case.
Yeah.
For things.
It's a really neat piece of that too, because sometimes we pigeonhole our kids. We see one gift in them and we're tempted to say, okay, well, you play piano like Cassidy does.
Yes.
So you're going to be a piano player and a worship leader. And we just know that and
Right.
so on. But in this case, she was able to try some different things and
Yeah.
find more than one gift.
Yes.
And same with Caleb, he loves computers. So we
Yes.
thought, oh, he's going to be a tech guy.
Yeah.
But then the puppet thing comes out of the blue.
Yeah.
And he's so creative and he's so funny. And
yeah, it totally harnessed a total side of him that I didn't know it could be harnessed like that. Like I saw it, I knew he had, but I never thought, oh, puppets. I mean, it just kind of, but it's so fun to see them experience things and just be exposed to things. And then even just Delana and she was given opportunities to speak and, like early on,
Yes.
I mean, 9 or 10 years old, and just the ability, when you do something like that early on, I think it takes away I'm not supposed to be afraid of this. She doesn't know enough to be afraid yet. So she would just confidently stand in front of, a group of people and share what she was supposed to share. And I just remember thinking I wasn't doing that at that age.
Right, me neither.
I didn't really have the opportunity, but if I had been, but it was she was so confident in her knowledge. And I think one of the things that I think about sometimes when I think about this discipleship thing is when these kids have a chance to walk it out and implement it and they have to talk about it, it also helps you see that this is already their faith.
Yes.
They've already processed that. It's not just rote, Noah and the ark. They're not just Bible stories. This is real and vital for them. And when they're able to articulate that and share it with other people, they're able to demonstrate that in a way that is, profound, really, that we're not waiting for them to be adults for the head knowledge to become heart knowledge. They're walking out what they believe with their heart. And the fact that you can solidify that at such a young age, to me, it's I tell Delana especially too, I'm you're learning things that I didn't learn until I was much older.
Yes.
So then it's you're on some sort of I don't know what God has in store, but he's fast tracking some stuff to okay, let's knock this stuff out. And I just get to have the best seat in the house for it. But it's just truly a gift.
Hallelujah. That's so cool. So this question, I want to understand what is it like Sunday morning, especially early on when your twins were just starting? What was a Sunday morning in your house like getting ready for church?
Okay, well, we joke in our house that there's something we call the Sunday morning anointing, because we kid you not, there would be things that happened on a Sunday morning that never happened any other day of the week. And we just said it was God's favor on us, because he was okay, I got your back. Because when the twins were, they were toddlers. And we also had to commute about 35-40 minutes to where the South Campus was meeting. So, we'd set everything out, and we'd do all the things, and we'd, get them breakfast to eat on the way. And we were just trying to be as efficient as possible. And then we would get there, and then they would, there would be childcare for them. But the childcare, they still help set up and do all the things. They weren't just passively doing things. And then we would go set up and do our things and do the service. And then we would, tear down and then get them, and then go get lunch and, go through all the process with that. But I kid you not, there would be so many times where we'd be oh no, we're running late. We're going to be so late. And then we would catch every single light, or we would get there and we'd be how did that take 5 less minutes than it ever has? So we joke sometimes that we still have the Sunday morning anointing. Now, it doesn't work if we're not serving, and so we get used to it. And then if it's a Sunday we weren't serving, we'd be late, and we're I don't understand. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind
funny.
of our special sauce that God gave the Johnson household.
I always really praise our families, because I see kids show up before me some Sundays, and your kids are some of them that they're there at 6:55 and I'm supposed to be there at 7. And goodness, why are they at the door already? What kind of kids are these that are willing to get up so early and just are excited to be at church to serve?
Well, it's just, again, it's what they've known, and they love it. They love being it's the behind the scenes, they like that element too.
Yeah.
They like just being a part of it, and they feel a significant part. And they are.
They are.
They're
yes.
not just oh, and them, I mean, it's like they're part of it and they like being a part of it. And, it's just it's a special thing. Then, and we love that we get to do it as a family. That's very intentional for us. Like that you know, we were only going to do the South Campus if we could do it as a family,
Right.
like, and have everybody be a part and feel a part of building something and,
Yes.
and being, and that was something that mattered to us because if we're spending that much time on it, we wanted them to buy in.
Yes.
And they did, like, and it's just been something that has been fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you think of a proud moment as a mom, just seeing any of your children serving with leaders in training, either at church or on a mission trip, or like what's a moment that just stands out as?
Yeah, there's definitely a few. Probably like one of the first ones that sticks out was, and goodness, Delana must have been, I don't know, probably 10. And we had done like a summer outreach, and I think it had all happened locally, and then like it culminated in like a thing, and she was asked to do like a Bible story. And at the time I was like, oh wow, this is a lot, like, because she was going to be like the one leading the main thing with like all the kids sitting there watching her. And I just remember like she got up there and she'd memorized it, like she was doing her thing, and she stumbled a little bit like at the beginning, but then she like caught her footing, and then she just stood there and she delivered it. And I just remember thinking like, it was just, I loved that she actually did stumble at the beginning, because like we're never going to be perfect,
Right.
and processing imperfection is part of the whole thing, and she didn't let that get in her way.
Yeah.
But then just like the ability to speak to peers, like, and we always say like, oh, it's nice when you can find somebody who feels the same way, like, as an adult, like if you can find someone that has things in common. Well, we don't always see the opportunity of what happens when a kid is speaking peer to peer to a child, to someone else their age.
Yes.
The impact that can have, with that is just awesome, and it's incredible. And I mean, I could go through each one of them. I mean,
Yeah,
seeing the
why
first,
not? Let's.
I would say for Caleb, it was probably the first puppet show that I saw. Unfortunately, because I serve so often, I don't always get to see them.
Right.
And he had been so intentional, and like he would guard his scripts and like hide them from his sisters so they wouldn't see it,
That's
because
so
he
cool.
didn't want him to like get the jump on what was going to happen. But the first time I saw him deliver, like, and just the way he did it, the confidence he did it, and in fact, it was on a Sunday morning. It was a kids Sunday, and the puppet thing started collapsing, and they just kept going. Like he didn't even miss a beat, and like, but just the way he delivered the lines and like all the things, and I was just like, oh my goodness, like I had a glimpse, but I didn't know, like, what that would mean. And then afterwards, he was so casual about it, like, oh yeah, and which was so fun. And then for Cassidy, like, she's very musical, among other things, but she had been doing some piano, and then she really wanted to learn guitar. So we started doing that. She actually got my dad's guitar that he had.
That's so
and
nice.
so that was special. And so seeing her being able to, I took a Sunday, and I would, like, when she was first serving, and I wanted to watch, and just seeing her just sitting up there, like having learned something from scratch, and just confidently standing up there with her, and a lot of things, thanks to you, obviously, for helping her with that. But just, it's the confidence.
Yes.
That, and I guess that's maybe a common link through all the stories, is that there's no hesitation.
Yeah.
They may have moments of nervousness, but like, it's not anything that's going to slow them down or stop them.
Yeah.
And that is such a gift that is a life skill that obviously will carry through with them in many different ways. But obviously, I hope it's ministry minded too, of just the confidence they're getting now of
Yes.
like, I can do this. Like,
Yes.
I can learn something new. I can walk in something new. I can speak. I can do different things and see success from it. I mean, it becomes, well, what else can I do? And that's,
That's
I can't
so
wait.
cool.
That's the question that, we get to see unfold as they get older. But I guess, yeah, I got a long answer to your question.
That's wonderful. A great story. All of them. 3 great stories. So Delana, like you said, she's kind of a prodigy for us. And I asked her to step in and be basically our worship leader
Yeah.
for kids ministry. She's done that for the past few years. And so on your end, what was the reflection of that, seeing her step into a big leadership role like that?
It's so funny. I guess I should have been surprised, but I wasn't.
Right.
Maybe she's just been preparing me for her whole life of just like, of course she's going to do that. Like, I mean, worship is such a heart. Like, she's just, she loves it. She loves to be a part of it. She loves to cultivate it, and she's she's a born leader. Like, it's just it's undeniable. And so to see her being able to use some of those skills and develop them in a very safe place.
Yes.
And she may not play all the instruments or be able to do, but there was ways to see her work through that, or harness other people to kind of help facilitate that. But then just to see her just stand up and in the moment of like, oh, let's do a couple things, and she would just walk right up and do it and not think twice about it. And I'm just like, it's just, she amazes me, like, for sure. As her mom, it's an honor to watch her just go.
Yes.
And her drive for it. But again, it's just gratitude for the opportunity. The skill set she's learning now that's only going to lend, further down the road, that again, opportunities I didn't have. And, I mean, ironically, I was doing a worship leading, but it was totally different, and I was very isolated.
Yeah.
I was having to figure it out myself. And I guess maybe that's the difference, is that she's been able to cultivate this in a very safe place with people who help her figure it out.
Yeah.
And help her when there is a gap. Like, instead of me kind of like, what am I going to do? Like, she's able to, go to you or go to other people, and you guys help her over that hump.
Yes.
Seamlessly. So it's not anything she misses a beat about. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Little musical pun there.
That's
Sorry.
right. I love it.
Didn't mean to do that. But.
It's in you.
Yeah.
All right. Last question is, if you were talking to a church that was thinking about their preteens and thinking, well, what could we do to supplement their experience? What would you say to them related to whether they thought about leaders in training or doing something like this with their preteens?
So in my normal life, I work for a preschool.
Okay.
And so one of the things we talk about a lot is how kids just have an innate love of learning. And one of our goals is to always keep that flame going. And so I see that very much so. Like, kids love, like they're drawn to the Lord. Like, there's an innate flame, and they want to know more, and they want to get hungry. And then there reaches a point where sometimes that can plateau. And I feel like a L.I.T leadership, like, kind of blast through that plateau, because it jumps them to another level.
Yes.
Which is intriguing, and it's interesting to them, and it's not just surface knowledge, it's application. It's like, what am I really thinking about this? Well, how does this work here? It's memorization. The scriptures my kids have memorized, like, and then it's the application of serving it, which I think is the key.
Yeah.
Because it's not just knowledge. It's what does it mean to work inside of a church? What does it mean to make a Sunday morning happen? And then to get to see it happen, like, spontaneously, like, and the good, and, the things we talk about, like, well, how was this? Well, this went great, or this, whatever, like, they're processing in real time. And so I think that it's that crucial age where it's like, you could lose that innate love.
Yes.
It could get tempered.
Tempered,
Tempered.
yeah.
And I think that this just helps prevent that. And it gives them an opportunity to go even deeper and further in their love of the Lord, and in their love for the local church, and their love for each other. The friendships they've developed too.
Oh, yes.
In this group are friendships that I think they're gonna have for life. Like, I mean, these they love each other, and they've gone deep together. They share their heart. Like, they're not just, do you want to just go swing with me? Like, so it's I would just tell any church, like, it's so worth it. And it may seem inconceivable, but I can tell you, and I'm living proof of, I've watched it in 3 very different kids walk it out. It absolutely works, and it's life-changing. Like, it really is. I was just talking to a parent I ran into over the weekend, and her daughter was in one of your early years of L.I.T, and she's now serving as a children's pastor.
Wow.
And her mom was crediting, like, just like her years in L.I.T, kind of stirring that and fostering that so that her daughter felt the confidence to step into that role. And
Right.
and I was just affirming kind of the same thing. So it was just kind of fun to just sort of talk to somebody who was a little on the old school side of things, to be able to kind of see like the history's there, like the proof is there,
Yeah.
like in the past, in the present, and I know in the future.
Right.
And I'm just so grateful that you literally walk out. Do not look down. Don't despise the youth. Like, don't think they can't do something. Like, you have absolutely always approached it with a, why can't they do it? And
Right.
it's so refreshing and so rewarding, because it's incredible. It's incredible what they have done and what they will continue to do. It's not perfect. If you're looking for perfect, it's not going to be like
Right.
a polished thing. But at the same time, I think that's the beauty of it, and that's what real is drawn to by real.
Yes.
Deep, it calls to deep. Like, kids know. They know when you're being false, and they know when you're being real.
Right.
And kids respond. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for your thoughts and your
Absolutely.
stories. It's so fun to talk about this, and appreciate your time and your support.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Tammy.